Okay, so it's almost 2, and I've been up for a couple hours. I really want to go back to sleep, but when I try and go back to sleep, then I can't. So I'm hoping that after I do this, and then it'll be a little later, then I'll try and take a little nap again before they get up and start running me around all day. They will go and take little naps throughout the day, and but they go to sleep for like little brief moments, I swear. As soon as they're laying, they're snoozing, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap. I'll lay down. Oh, okay, it's time to get up. It's like, that really irritates me. I tell them, that really irritates me. Oh my God, their life jackets came yesterday. They are so cute. And they got them all on. I even took a video and I put it on yesterday's video, or a link to it, because it's a TikTok. And, but I got them all in their little things and stuff, and they were walking around. I was explaining to them. It was just, I don't know, it's the cutest thing. And I feel like it's like um, the fall styles for the dog that's going to make it or something. And I had put that on there. Like I said, something like the fall style of the dog, for safety. I don't remember what I said. But somebody had said, oh, what are you in the floods or something? And it's like, man, I swear to God, this is, it's exhausting. It's fucking exhausting, man. Uh, but people just don't see what is going on. And because they don't see, then it freaks them out. So then we have to go through all the traumas and stuff. It's like, So I said, go look at the map, the doomsday map. But, to me, it's a naval projection map. It's what the Navy had put out at some point. I don't even know when they put it out, but it's already turning into that map. And there's a bunch of hurricanes or something keeps heading towards Florida. I don't know what the hell is going on. If now people are just hyper alert talking about every little storm and they're all like really nervous, or I don't know, it's weird. And over here, there's like a whole bunch of earthquakes where people are like, there's never been so many earthquakes. Like, this is so weird. And so, but then when they put the maps up of the earthquakes, so I'm like really studying where I'm at on this map, and it looks like it looks like the fault line or earthquake that has got all this activity going right now is going to go right up the coast. And I don't know the part in California, because the part of the map where I'm seeing is showing there's so much activity in Oregon and Washington, what's going on. And then plus it's up in Vancouver. So it goes up, so it would hit like over where I was saying, like Tacoma, up through Seattle. So Seattle, when I've been looking at the map, is like right at the start of this peninsula thing. So it's gonna, whatever is gonna come up, like it's gonna cut across like that and then go up towards Vancouver, because it follows this coastline thing. But when it goes up like this, see, I'm like right here. And so I'm so close. Like, we would feel the earthquake. Now, I don't know how bad, if they're like, if it's 11 or 10 or 9 or whatever, and how it will move up the coast. Because I would think it's going to kind of start somewhere. There'll be some shift, and it's just going to set everything off, and everything's going to start shifting. And I don't know what will be it could be the volcano going. Who knows? It could just be that everything is so unstable. It could be, I don't know. I feel like that the storms and stuff, like they are trying. Like, there's a hurricane in Alaska. They don't have hurricanes in Alaska. And then they try and convince us it's fucking climate change. And then you have these people who believe it. I mean, it's hard to watch. I think, to watch these people literally support this woman. It's weird. And unlike this one, like, this is how absurd it is. So fucking, and all these celebrities are putting out their you know, oh, you got to support him because of this. You got to support him because of that. Fucking Beyonce, like, she's exposed herself. Like, this is what is so bizarre. Because you think of it, like, from these people who are listening from the other side. What is it they're hearing? It's creepy. So, Beyonce has come out in support of her, and also that women should be able to remove their child even up to the 40th week. Like, that should be a thing. We should have body autonomy. Well, of course, which, like, what the fuck? God damn. So, so that, you know, where I'm saying about your moral compass and stuff, like, they're all in on it, apparently. And I mean, cheering, like, she pulled in this big crowd for this stupid Beyonce concert shenanigans. They keep making sure to make sure she's constantly sniffing, wiping her nose, like, the thing that, this big thing that's coming out is that the cocaine is her staff. Like, they've got to have it for her all the time or something, just like Tom needs fish. And Tom is coming out saying, like, that is just the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Dude, well, how do you have so many people have these same stories from all over the place? And then Nicole coming out and saying something that's like, oh, but so Seth has come out in support of Kamal. But the thing is, he said was so motherfucking absurd. So he said, it takes a little clip of her currently, her current stand, because she goes with the flow of what, you know, the people want, is she's all in on this going legal with this plant. And, you know, and that's what he's all about. Next, if they fucking have Woody Harrelson come out and support her, I swear to God. But so he's all in because she's going to legalize this plant for him. And it's like, dude, so why don't we share the footage of what she used to say, how she's against it. She laughs about putting all the people she put away for it. And let's go back to that footage. Let's hit back there. And then the other second absurdity is that Donald, the other guy, the other opponent, you're trying to say this is a talking point when the other guy is saying legalize. What? Like, what? But the people who just, I mean, you have people who are just like, oh, I'm a Seth fan, so, you know, it's good enough for him. It's good enough for me. I always saw these two guys. It must have been a podcast, and I don't know where the fuck they're set up, but they had those supporters of that lady lining up. It's the weirdest thing is, like, Joe had no support. Like, this whole thing is so weird. But then they're asking him, like, why? Why do you support her? What's she done and stuff? I mean, the stuff that they were saying was so stupid. Well, you know, she's a really good woman. Like, she's really, you know, she works hard. You know, she's really involved, VP. And so it's like, they have no idea. No idea what she's doing, what she's done, nothing of her record. It's embarrassing. And that's what they're going to be, is super embarrassed when they see for themselves how idiocracy that they are playing right into the hands of they're the fools. And they're, yeah, it's embarrassing because the people who they support are the ones laughing at them. And so they've got, and now, I mean, Eminem's being drugged, man. I mean, the biggest hypocrite, you know, he's supposed to be anti-establishment, all about our rights of free speech and stuff like that. And then he's going against it and going on this other side. So people are just like, because he has people who seriously liked him, who are, you know, like, what the fuck, dude? That is what all these different things, that's what's the awakening part, is when you see that somebody you support is not in alignment with you. What's weird is to keep watching these people just keep going and going. And it is like you have no idea what you're even going with. It's like the same thing with Rod Serling, what he would show with this group mentality. They just go with the people who they're in alignment with. There's something, and it's all going to be blowing up. It's all going to just, however it's going to go, it's all going to be good. And then, Don, and see, he knows all the things. It's like he knows what things are going to play out, so he's just right on top of it. And I think it's a part of whatever then when they had the looking glass and a part of the plan and stuff. That's why it's so is now he's been on Joe, and Joe had, like, I don't know if it was a 2-hour interview or something, all access, no editing, no stopping, just them talking or something. Might be an hour, but I think it's 2 hours. And which, isn't surprising to me at all. But I guess that, of course, because this is how it's all going to be, Joe tried to set that up with Kamala, and she would have nothing to do with it. She wouldn't. So everything is to keep showing, this guy's just right out there. He's putting his, what his plan is. He's telling you all this stuff. But you guys are running around kissing the ass of this lady who's just throwing fairy dust along with her cocaine out there. And you guys are just under a spell, under an illusion, under this, what is that called? Under, it's like a false illusion. It just caught my eye. It was because of freckles. And there's all these girls, trying to make freckles on their face, which is really, really strange. Is like if they put on makeup and then they try and put freckles on the makeup. It's like people have lost their goddamn minds. Have lost their goddamn minds. But for one thing, though, you have all these women or girls or women, whatever you want to call them, female people, that are drawing on freckles onto their face. I think because it kind of maybe gives it depth or something. I'm not sure. But, if you want to have freckles, go out and just naturally go in the sun and shit. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's so strange. Like, just go out and go in the sun. Get some fucking skin damage on your skin. Have your skin and your son develop a relationship. But they go and draw them on. And now this lady discovered that, because there's some kind of lip liner stuff or something. You see this, I swear to God, TikTok is just commercial. And they put this stuff on their lips and it looks real crazy. But then you peel it off and then it just has your lips are just kind of stained, but it's more natural color. So then they're like, I wonder how that would be with freckles. So this lady did all these freckles all over and then peeled all this stuff off and it made freckles all over her face. Just like, all I gotta do is just start going out in the sun. Like, it's so strange to just see how all these people try and figure out all these fake ways to do shit. And it's like, and Kate Beckinsale now is out as a new face. And I don't know, I mean, at this point, you just don't even know, like, are these people, is this seriously where you've gone to with your plastic surgery? Or is this your clone? Is this your lookalike? And on her, because all these people are always like, that's just their clone, that's their lookalike, they're all arrested and stuff like that. To her, I would have thought she wouldn't have been arrested. I saw this movie, it's called Disappointment Room. And I don't know why, when I was watching it though, I just felt like there's something with this kid in this room, or in this movie, where it seemed like it was really authentic, like she was really concerned, like that she knew some bad stuff was going to happen to this kid or something. And I just thought, how many adults in movies that are with kids in the movies, and then they know, like, these kids are, like, and one thing too is, like, it draws in these social climber parents that just, like, willingly give over their kid. Like, I think that's going to be a big part of Bieber's story, is because, for one thing, even his dad now has an account on his younger sister on Instagram, is exploiting her for male viewership. So, there's going to be people who's, some of these parents are just going to be shown as being such social climbers, so desperate for their kid to make it that they were willing to, you know, whatever. It's so crazy. It's like, well, then why aren't you the one in there getting fucking reamed by a fucking diddler? Why is it got to be him? It should be you. You're the one who is throwing him out there. That to me is such a crime. Seriously. Like, I think they're all going to have to be charged. But anyways, I thought, like, Beckinsale seemed kind of more real, but maybe she is a, you know, blood-sucking thug, too. I don't know. But now, this, to me, is so... I swear to God, I feel like J-Lo should just be embarrassed at this point. Like, chick, like, are you... I don't know if she's just a fucking robot droid. These people are drained of all their brains. Like, so fucking weird. And she is a goddamn, she isn't just one personality disorder. She's multiple personality disorders walking around. Like, she needs to get a handle on her shit. And she needs to go face her fucking demons, get her shit together. She's just goddamn embarrassing. But now, she's filed for divorce from fucking what's his butt, who I think is just trying to clear his fucking gambling debts or something. Now Drake is, oh, well, he's always liked her. So now they're on the hookup. And somebody was showing the pictures of who J-Lo's been with and how she drains the men of all their life force, what the men go into the relationship looking like and what they come out of it looking like. I don't know, because I could be the same way. I mean, back in my days of personality disorder, I'm sure I was very, very draining. I'm sure I was difficult for somebody who, you know, was also had challenges. You know, but that's why you got to save yourself. That's why you got to heal yourself and do right by you. And, you know, like all those people do, they have every opportunity to do right by them, to heal themselves. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the people who, you know, I'm talking about still haven't. So I bet that's the thing is it's just going to be this mass healing thing. You knew when you could see it coming, like, oh my God. It's this whole blue wave thing. I just can't even believe how I just feel so, and what is so weird is those people feel so bad for the red side. Well, I'm not on either side. I'm just telling as an observer, because and it almost makes you want to get caught up in the red side because it's such a huge movement to freedom and it's very exciting, and that's the direction that we're going. But I'm pulled free from this concept of this idea of somebody needing to be governed. Like, I don't need that. I need other people to realize that we don't need that. And I think that it's going to be coming from all sides because that's what Donald's going to be doing. It is going to be like he's going to lead the world to independence and freedom. But then once you get there, it's like he's not going to be there leading you. You're going to see he just brought you to the room. You have to do the rest. So he's going to be low-key leading us, but it's not going to be the same kind of leading us as what he's going to be like, leading us to greatness, leading us to build back better, leading us to make America great again, like showing us what we can do, bringing us in a certain direction, relieving us of all this debt, which he's like hitting that rally thing hard, man. He's like going boom, boom, boom. I swear to God, I think he does 3 or 4 of them a day. Like, it's crazy. But in one of them, somebody was just sharing footage. So he's standing at the podium, at which he has this same tie on. So it was yesterday when he was talking to Joe. He had the same tie on as at this rally. So I don't know if he left this rally and went to this Joe thing. But he's like all day long. He's just out there spilling it for people. And he's really trying to get people to pay attention and notice things. But these blue people are just so oblivious to what's real, and they just keep going harder and harder in on this. So weird. And but so at the rally, he because you gotta remember that they speak in code and comps and all that stuff. So he was speaking, and he had on his gold tie, sitting right behind him, like 2 rows back or something, but right behind him, so that you had to, so when you saw him in the gold, right behind him, you saw the guy sitting in the brick suit. That, they made a big deal about that guy's suit a long while ago, and I don't remember. They made some deals about, it must have been the last rally season or something, but he kept rallying for a long while. Because it's not about it's a revival. We're in a revival. We're in a revival of our souls, the spiritual revival. That's why his side is going so big. It has to do with, why they keep talking about God and all that stuff, is because it's a spiritual revival. It's bringing people back to themselves, back to yourselves, leads you into freedom. And all these other people, they're in this mind trap, and they are being pushed. They're being led to the, what is that called? Led to the slaughter. They are being, like they're having their hands held right, going right into this. And it's all about this control, and they just don't realize how it's going to blow up in their face, but it's going to blow up in their face in a minute. And I think they're going to get this auto karmic thing, like that's going to be quick. Like they're going in this direction, and it's not going to keep going. So it's going to hit back real quick, and it's going to show them. It's going to be blaring. And we have the huge drama going on with all of the missile things over going back and forth, that which is something we're drawn into too. There's also all these different flags. Like you can look up now, there's a whole bunch of countries that dollar's not allowed. It has no worth. And I did look at my daughter's location, because we're not speaking right now, but I did send a message and say I love you, safe travels or whatever. But she didn't say anything back. And it's all like, I'm just so, I'm fucking so over people not seeing me. And I don't know, I just can't deal with this bullshit. So she's gone, and so she's in Vegas. I could see her location, so she's in Vegas for that concert. And then she's supposed to be going to Bermuda or Belize or something in a couple days, which she'll be there through her birthday and the situation. It's like, fuck, man. I don't know. I don't know that I'd want to be out of the country when this shit goes down. I don't know. As everybody's got their own lessons and stuff, and maybe mine's going to be, nothing's going to happen. I think that something's going to happen. I think some big shit is going to be happening. We got, like all the balls are in the air, but it's like they're staying, it's like they're all going to drop at once. It's not like that they're all going, it's all like, it's like they're all there, and you're just like, fuck, what's about to go down? Because we got global problems. We got, I think in most cities and states, there's problems. You got fucking disasters. You got, like, there's so many things. The money situation, and then but the people who aren't paying attention, they're not going and looking into that. They think that all sounds crazy, but it's like, this is happening. It's been building up. Like, this is going. Like, this is all about to go. And it's going to be dramatic. So I don't know. I mean, when they've got, and I saw somebody's post that said, don't forget in the Bible that this place over there, the real, that is wiped. It's gone. It's dusted. It's no longer. So, and when I read that, I was like, yeah, that is, that's one of the signs. And I was thinking that will be dramatic if they do. If something goes and blows that would be a lot of people. But there's going to be more still, because we have this earthquake thing. And I put on this movie yesterday. One movie I watched, one of my other daughters has told me, is called Apartment 7A or something. as a supernatural. It was like a Rosemary's Baby kind of movie. It was good. But then I started watching this other one, and I didn't finish it. I just saw it for a little. And it was some space alien invasion, quiet place or something. And we're all just chilling, and all of a sudden we're going to be invaded. And they always have the invading things of these monsters. And so we're going to be invaded by these monsters. People are going to be surprised that a lot of the alien monsters just look like us. But, so these monsters are coming, and then they start killing people or whatever. And it's showing this one scene is very, very dramatic. And it's weird because it's like everybody, I think, is already hiding. Like you can't make noise and stuff. And so there was a lot of explosions and stuff. But it seems like everybody's hiding. But they made a whole big thing about the Golden Gate Bridge going down. And the people watching it as it collapsed in this horrible thing. And I was like, fuck, man. I just feel like that is going to be, but it's going to be sad because I think it's going to be during the day. Even if it can be at certain times at night, that could even be, oh God, that would be, oh. Because like daylight savings time here is so dark so early. So rush hour, and then the earthquake going during rush hour and the bridge collapsing like that. And then all the people falling into the dark water. Oh my God. I've already had that life. So, fuck. Or had that demise. So, horrible. And I don't know why we have to have such a fucking hideous fucking ways that we go to leave this goddamn story. It's like, fuck. I swear to God, it's for the drama, for the people watching. It is, I don't know, because some of these deaths that we experience, we carry them with us. We carry this fear and this memory. It's like imprinted into us. And so it's weird because you think like, well, we don't experience it, but it's a part of us. And because you really do experience the fear of open water, the fear of heights, of falling, all these different things. And then you think about like all of us as kids, we all had those dreams of us falling all the time. And it used to trip me out. I used to think, what is this? Why do we have this? And then all of a sudden you jolt awake. And I was thinking, we must as other people fall off cliffs all the time. And it just haunts us. So we just have this memory that, but I do think, like we have fallen off cliffs. We've fallen off of we've fallen off of all sorts of things. And that stuff is still going. Like we're gonna have a lot of that kind of thing happening. And when I was seeing the earthquake thing though, if that part all turns into a disaster, which would be like going up the 5, I swear to God, they probably did. Those fucking crazy motherfuckers, they probably put the 5 to mark the line for us. That's probably exactly where it's going to fucking split. It would not surprise me at all. I know it's going to split in some other places too. But I'm talking about just this one fault line that's going to... It's going to fuck a lot of places. Because like over here by me, like once the 5 is gone, there's no way to get out. But even if they started doing evacuation, the 5 would be fucked. You'd be so clogged up. There'd be no way. So it is like it's like a PSYOP evacuation route that was probably placed right over the thing that we're trying to escape from. That's how these motherfuckers work. And then they sit up watching and laughing. So, I don't... But to me, and none of these people on Marketplace, none of them. Free boat guy who's trying to tell me all the time, trying to get me to Venmo him, and then telling me, oh, he's legit, he's going to go talk to his grandpa and stuff. Never heard from him again. That now it's days of that guy yakety yakking, trying to get me to, to be convinced he's for real. And all these other ones, the only one that says anything to me is that one guy who's got this fucking yacht dinghy thing, and it's like 400 pounds. It's like an ordeal to... It's like, dude, I don't know. He seems desperate to convince me, I need this thing. It's like, dude, no, we don't. It's all what I want. I want some little lightweight, like little life raft, but not like a life raft. It's like a little rowboat thing. And they're like fiberglass, they're lightweight. And I swear you could just put it right in here, stand it on its side. If the water started rising, just flip it up, put the dogs in the thing. Which now I'm thinking I should probably get a life jacket for myself. But put the dogs in the thing and then just ride it out. But I swear to God, we're going to need more boats. I think there's going to be so much water. And I think that once this earthquake thing, they're saying the tsunami is going to come right away. So I was thinking, so if the earthquake goes, because it'd be going like 30 miles from me, and if it's like a fucking 9, like, it's hard to imagine that there wouldn't be trees falling. And so once it goes up there and it fucks all that whole thing, that is when it's supposed to be this big wave thing. Then the wave will come up. Then it seems like it would go, to me, one of the things that I thought when I first moved here was like it was going to be like this oceanfront property. And that could be what it ends up being. That's how close it's going to be. But that can also be that it's going to go right over it, and that's up to the universe. And that's, and I can't sit here and be all sad or caught up in it, because then if that's what it is, then there's a different place it's putting me. So it's not like where I have to be like, oh my God, you guys are so stupid. How could you ruin my house like that? This is the only place I have. That's not how the universe looks at it. The universe looks at it like, there's lots of places. It's just, everything's endings and beginnings. Like, when something ends, it's so you can start something new. And so it's not, but people get so caught up in their anger, their fear, their sadness. And you gotta just go through the process. You can't get stuck. You gotta just process through. And let me think, because there was some stuff though I wanted to say, and I don't know if I'm remembering them. Let me think if there was. I swear, people keep showing these different actors and stuff, and what they look like now. And Jennifer Aniston, I don't know. She's looking scary. And I don't know if it's so weird too, because I swear to God, she was back in the part where she was more natural, not like a makeup person. And she was all, she seemed like, that she really wouldn't go and do all of that stuff. And I swear she said that, but I don't know, maybe at some point she said, well, if I need it, I'll go get it. But she started going and getting it before she needed it. She could have thought she needed it, but that's the thing, is they get some of these ladies in acting jobs or something to think that they need this stuff to get them to hyper focus on it. And so then they go and get all this filler, and the filler is migrating on their face. And then one thing I have noticed is as you age, when you put a lot of eye makeup on, it looks weird to me. It looks weird. And so she's putting on a lot of eye makeup, and maybe it's trying to draw away, but it looks like her stuff is migrating. So it just gives her this really weird, strange, harsh look that just doesn't look like her. She used to have like a sweet, soft face, and now it just looks like, I don't know. I always get this just sense of desperation in all these people. Like, they're just so desperate to, stay looking good or something. And what is just the irony is it has to do with taking care of yourself and healthy lifestyle. And I always heard that she was like a big partier. Like, she drinks a lot and stuff like that. So that also would probably be adding on why she's starting to look like raggedy. And she just, probably thinks, well, I'm aging, so that's just part of it. But somebody's saying, like, her new boyfriend is a plastic surgeon. And they were all jealous, like, oh my gosh, she's so lucky. And I was like, oh my God, now what the hell is she going to look like? Like, is just getting more desperate. Like, marry my doctor, so he'll just do surgeries on me all the time. And I was excited when I got that job at that plastic surgeon's office. And there was, I think, something in the back of my mind too, thinking like, oh, I'll be able to get anything taken care of. I won't have to worry about getting old and ugly or something. And then, luckily, I went in to get my surgery right before I started. And when I came out, he was already mad anyways, this doctor. What is his name? Started with a K. He's that arrogant, real jerky guy. Um, but whatever it was, I had to get my surgery for my hysterectomy, the first one. And then I had to be off work for however long. So I got this job and then I started it. But it was, I had a brain injury and I just didn't even know how bad it was. I was still super confused. I was still very like, what is going on? What is going on? Why can't I do this? Like I was having problems putting in IVs. I was having problems like, and the reason why this doctor got so mad was because I wasn't being straight. I was being like this. Like, I don't remember what it was. If he told me, I don't remember what it was. It keeps seeming like draw a line or something. And it was like, "Rah." And, but I was having problems like with the whole thing, getting in the lady's IV. I don't remember all the problems I was having. It was a lot. So I didn't, like, he fired me. And I just feel like, God, that was so lucky. Oh my God. Because if I would have stayed, and that just would have become my lifestyle. Just would have ended up looking like these weird, crazy, fake looking people, how they all look. And one of my friends, it was funny because she was the friend who, afterwards when we had gone to lunch and I started telling her about the aliens are coming and all that stuff, she left out lunch and has never spoken to me again. There's just so much of that because I was telling a lot of people in 2016, and just like my brother said, oh yeah, you were saying that a long time ago. Yeah, well, I didn't know it was going to take so long, but they've been coming and coming and coming the whole time. I was seeing them back then. Now people are seeing them, but they have been there the whole time. But people, thought I sounded crazy. But it's just funny is that she was one of those people who, when I worked for the plastic surgeon, she was the person who said, oh my God, don't go and start working there and start getting all those procedures. And plastic surgeons, this one too, yeah, that would be your Christmas bonus. You could get whatever procedure you wanted. So I'm just so glad. And it's so funny because when those things happen, then you're all sad and devastated, like, oh, I really wanted that job. That was such a fucking cool job, fucking easy ass job. And I mean, doing surgery, nurse surgery in a fucking plastic surgeon's office, like, come on, that's like dream job. And then, so when losing it was like very sad to me. It was like, God damn, what the fuck am I? Everything. I was just losing everything. Everything was falling apart in my life. And it just kept falling and falling and falling until it all came crashing in 2015 when I finally left that, when that relationship left me and everything came crashing. And even to the point, my dog left me because she died. And so everything, I lost the second house, like everything. I was losing everything. My identity, my nursing license, all my support. I had no friend. I was getting sicker and sicker. And that is why I had to push towards the natural and taking care of myself, because what they were doing for me was only getting me sicker and sicker. I mean, it was mental. I was like, I swear to God, they're out to just fucking kill us. And so I know, and I think in particular that there is certain people, that there is some kind of a thing, like that they really want to take some of us out. Because you can't you don't have control over that. But I do think that there's I don't know, if there was some kind of registry or something of the light. Like, I don't know. Because I'm wondering, like, even on some of the things, like, me living through what I lived through, if they don't, if there isn't certain people who look at that, who were involved, who go like, how did she live through that? How did she make it? Because they're sure not going to fucking tell me, because, you know, I mean, I already tried to take them to court and shit. So, but you know what I'm saying? Is I think that there is, I mean, one thing too is I keep seeing these videos of these people. Oh yeah, I keep seeing these people getting fucking amputated. All these people getting these set amputations. I swear to God, every sickness, every fucking sickness, everybody should, before you do anything, should be cleansing. All the cleansing you can do, chemical pairs, all of it. Like, so I don't know with her, but I'm seeing all these different people, their videos of what was that I was talking about before the amputation, because I could see the girl. Well, what is her deal? She was crying. I keep seeing all these videos, these people crying. It's all this medical stuff. The medical system is totally failing people. But of course that was going to happen, and it's the people who keep going and trying are the ones that keep getting failed, and that's why it makes it so sad and hard to watch, because that's what wakes them up. But it's hard to watch because it just goes on and on and on, and you want to save everybody, you want to tell everybody and get everybody to see. But that's the thing you can't do. You can't tell people. Like, somebody on one of my comments yesterday, I think she was asking you guys, she wasn't necessarily asking me, if I was channeling. So I want to explain again what it is that I'm doing. Because on my name on my thing, which, you know, they're still doing all this shit to hold back everything. They're doing everything they can to hold back my account. But, but the name of the account is Insights and Intuition. So it's my insights and my intuition as to what I watch and view in this world as it's playing out. And it comes from a spiritual perspective, because that is how I've been living my life, is through a spiritual perspective, which I had no idea how rare that is until all of this awakening stuff started happening, and I started witnessing how other people live, and I was like, what? And then this whole spiritual movement, even when it was like, oh, look, all the spiritual movement. But then you start seeing it's like not really a spiritual movement at all. And so that, so I started speaking out about, you know, spiritual stuff. And then my whole thing is also because when I was little, when I was 3 years old, and I told the story so many times. So when I was 3 years old, I had a little brother who was 1.5. My parents took us to my grandparents' house. We were all sitting out on this patio thing. I don't know what I was doing. I just remember I was probably playing or something. My little brother was sitting on my dad's lap, and my mom told me to go in and get my dad or get my brother a glass of water. I don't know if he was whining and crying. I don't remember what the deal was, but I was pissed off that they had sent me to go get him water. Why couldn't one of them go get it? Why couldn't he go get it? Why the fuck do I have to go get him water? I was so fucking pissed. So I'm going into the house just pissed off as a motherfucker. I'm 3 years old. And I remember this clear as day. And then people went, oh, how do you know you're 3? Well, it was real easy to confirm. And so I go into the bathroom, and they have that's back when we had these little Dixie cup things in the bathrooms. And, you know, these little Dixie cups, and they were paper, and you pulled them down and you get water. So I was pulling down to get water for him, and that is when I started having this occurrence where I started having these two sides talking to me. And I thought it was the devil and an angel. And so the devil side started telling me all this stuff. That's what I said. The dark is very luring. They have an allure. They're exciting. And you know, they build you up on doing rotten stuff. So it was telling me, yeah, do it. And then the other side was very calm and very peaceful. and it was telling me not to do it. I was going to get in trouble. And it was so, it was like, I don't know how to explain it, because it was like, like if I look at it, it wasn't just the sounds. It is a sense of energy, because this had such a different energy. This has such an encompassing, peaceful energy, such a loving, peaceful energy. But it kind of feels like it's like, like this stuff is in us. And so anyways, I'm, listening to him, and I was talking. I'm pretty sure I was talking to him. And then, so I decided to put the soap in the water. So I get the soap and I stir it in the water, and I made the water soapy. And then I took the water out and I handed it to my brother, and he took a drink and started screaming. And they figured out, like they saw, they, figured it out, and I got in trouble. And then the peaceful side started talking to me and explaining to me about things. And they've been talking to me ever since. So it's something that has just been a part of my life that I've just been able to access, or, I don't know how it is, because, if it's my guides, it's my higher self, it's my more advanced self that is able to do that at 3 years old. Like, whatever it was, I was talking to these people from that time throughout my whole life. So I've been talking to them, and I would try and tell people all the time what they would say, because they were always telling me things about life and what we were doing. And, they were the ones who were telling me, religion's bullshit. And, but getting me to notice things, or pointing things out, or getting me to question things, like, well, what about this? And then you're like, okay. So then you start seeing it's like, oh, so yeah, that's some bullshit. And so they've just led me and directed me through life. And that when all this shit start going down, is when I knew, like, ixnay on that. There was a lot of different things that were being shown to me, and being told to me. And then I started realizing, well, throughout my whole life, I was being guided in a certain direction. I had no idea it had anything to do with this going throughout my life, as my life was hard as fuck. I had, it was difficult. It was very challenging. I was born to, when my mom was a teenager, my dad was 20-year-old pedo and alcoholic, who was very caught up. Like, I know he was caught up, and I don't know what all, but he had to be a part of something in Dallas. And then the whole thing too with that gifted program, because that is the one daughter who is in Vegas. She is the one who was in that gate program. And it's just trippy, is because, so when I was a kid, my guides, like I said, were always telling me stuff. And so they were start passing those tests around. And I swear, I think it was like fourth. Like, some of you guys who were like my age, and I would have been in Dallas, probably all the different states at different times or something. Maybe we were a beta place. I don't know. I don't remember for sure when we started doing those tests. But it seemed like I was around fourth or fifth grade was the introduction of these tests. You fill in these circles, and it was like a multiple, what was that called? Multiple choice kind of test. And it was to test our, they said it was like to test where we were in school, like our abilities or something like that. And so, we all got handed out these tests, and it would be like this whole, was it like a testing week? Like, this test took up some time, and this would happen every year. Once they started this, they started doing it every year, and it would be like, I don't remember, like, if it was a week of testing. It seems like it's a week of testing, and every day you have to be there and take these tests. And like our whole existence in school was coming around this week of testing. And so when it started, my guides had told me not to do the test. They told me just fill in the dots, just fill in the dots. And even if I tried to read the test, it would just be like I couldn't understand what I was saying. I didn't understand. So I was just like, okay, just color in the dots. And so I just went around and just did the dots and didn't do the test. And I didn't think that much about it. I didn't think that much about it. But then I know that they were telling my parents that, I may need special ed class. I'm not sure what the hell's wrong with me. And as I think I got a talking to about the test, and that I needed to take it more serious or something. I don't remember. But also there was like, there was weird things about me. Like it was like paralyzing insecurity of, like, I don't know. It's weird because I would be so insecure in class. But then if if there was an opportunity to say some joke from the back of the class, I would do it and everybody would laugh. So I don't know, what. I remember feeling so much like paranoid to even walk across a room. Like everybody's gonna be watching me. I'm gonna walk funny. I'm gonna trip. I'm gonna fall. Like the anxiety. Like, and I know that's crippling anxiety for a lot of people now, but you got to work through it. Like I had it. You got to work through it. And so it was painful back then. And but anyways, I didn't do the test, and my parents thought something was wrong with me. And then I would go in class, and I had this ability. As soon as the teacher started talking, I would be gone, and my body would be sitting in the class, but I wasn't in the class, and I didn't know, that I had this ability to be leaving the class until until more recent, where I started being able to see like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. But I would be able to just leave the class because it would be like going into a meditation. When the teacher would start talking, it would just put me to be out. I wouldn't go to sleep. I could sit there, but I would not be there. And I would have no idea what was going on in the classroom or anything like that. And so then I would get called like a daydreamer, all sorts of things. It was always negative stuff that would, And so anyways, and I did horrible grades in school and barely got through it. I think school is the most lamest fucking bullshit. And then, then go through, and have kids and stuff. And then my daughter, so the third daughter, she, in the testing thing. So they were doing those tests, and then I got called in because now I'm the parent. So I got called in on her testing, only it was very different than my testing. And hers that showed that she needed to be in that program. And the program is they leave they go to this other place that we didn't know where it was or anything. We'd assign stuff to let them go. And at the time they build it all up like, your child's gifted. They're taking all the gifted kids from the other schools. They're putting them in one group in one class at a certain place so that they can all challenge each other, and they're going to make these robots and all this stuff. And it sounds like, well, fuck, I got a smart kid. I want her to get the benefits of all this stuff. And I still had no idea. And it wasn't until I heard Corey Good talking about the testing and that's what they were looking for. And then it's like, oh my God, hearing this like telepathic kid that can fucking go and whatever, astral travel or whatever during class. And then that's who they're looking for, it was like, and so no wonder my guides were telling me not to do the tests. But that wasn't my daughter's guidance. And so she did the test and got in the program. and she would leave the school and go to this thing, and they would go make robots and stuff. And it was very vague, because now I am hearing all these kids who were involved talking about it. And they're saying it was weird. There is weird stuff. There's a lot of stuff they can't remember. They did make them drink some little pink drink. And Corey Goode talks a lot about, like, if you listen to him talk about the program, so he got taken the same way. He got taken and taken to the thing. And he said that they would have to use these, like, and this was before there was iPads, and he said they would be using these iPads, and they were testing them all the time on their psychic stuff. They were trying to make them sharper and sharper and sharper on their psychic stuff. And so then when you got good, then they used them for him. He was being used to communicate, to translate between the different aliens. And it's, because you can, like, I can fucking hear them. And it's not like they're not speaking a language. The language that they speak is telepathy, and it's through visions and pictures and understanding, and then words, like what I said, like, sometimes these weird words will pop in. Or I just love when they do these little phrases. I think they're really good at those little phrase things. But anyways, because insights and intuition, that was from, like, all this stuff is always from them. I'm not just making shit up. And so but Corey Goode had said that they would take them and use them to communicate with the aliens and stuff. And he would be taken into meetings and stuff, and then they would use them for other things, because there's other things in the Secret Space program if you go listen to those guys. And you can find them if you've never seen them. You can find them on YouTube. Laura Eisenhower interviews them sometimes. You can find Corey Goode's stuff. And also there's Cosmic Disclosure. That guy, I think it used to be David Wilcock, and then it got switched. I don't know what all happened in this disclosure thing, because there was a bunch of them that were, like, friends, and then something happened and it fractured, especially even Corey Goode and David Wilcock and Laura Eisen. Like, I don't know what happened. But anyways, but you can find old videos, old stuff. And Cosmic Disclosure, like, I know those guys have interviewed a lot of these guys from these programs, and you get the same kind of stories all the time from them. And then that's where you start hearing all sorts of creepy stuff. Like, on the guys on Laura Eisenhower's thing, I'd heard them talking about these places where there's just, like, loads of bodies and stuff like this. There's a trade of our bodies feeding, like, oh man, there's so much weird shit with this place, because the people, like, the beings who are here also eat us, but then it's like they take extras and go sell those too, like loads of bodies. There's so many. Why even give us this thing about cemeteries and shit? I saw a guy he found this old mortuary, and it was like old, broken down, closed down, and went inside. It was still full of everything. It was so fucking messy and so full of everything. And it had so many caskets. He even went down into a part, like this weird cellar thing. He said it smelled so bad he couldn't even stay down there. But hundreds of new caskets. It's like, there's people needing to be buried all the time. And I swear to God, man. But anyways, so I had no idea that I had any of these things that were different than anybody until all this awakening stuff started happening. And for me, the awakening started after my 2015, after that relationship ended, and I went into the dark night thing, and then I had to get through that, and that was hard. It was like I was having to face all these, like, weak ass sides of myself, to see, like, it's not like you're a victim, you're just a weak ass bitch at times. And it's like, why? And then you got to heal that side of you so you're not. And then, so I was going through all of that, and that is what led into where I started seeing things like the world started becoming three-dimensional, and I started seeing things that other people weren't seeing. I started trying to talk to people. It was like it was already had fractured. I was already going in this other direction. And so I was getting this completely different view of what was happening than other people were seeing. And the more I would talk about it, the more people would think I was whacked out. But I started having this complete understanding of what was happening to people's consciousness and how people had no awareness, and the mind trap that people were in, the programming, the amount of what is that called? Program, but not programs. The amount of not cycles. The amount of not possibilities. Oh, it's just kind of fading away. Oh, if it comes back. But so, so anyways, when I'm talking now, that is what my communication is. It's like I'm looking at the things and talking about what I notice. And that is odd, because that is one of the things that always made me seem odd, was my perspective of what I noticed in things. And, oh yeah, what was that one? Because that was, oh yeah. Because there was one thing where I was seeing, like, of how it is that you can put people off. And when you are somebody who will go and do things and try things and stuff, so you look at it different than other people. But then when you tell somebody else that they can do it or try it or whatever, then they feel like you're putting pressure on them. And then when you tell them, they can believe in themselves or something, it's like you're putting pressure on them, and then they're feeling like they have to do something for you. So it's not coming through them. And so, if you are, a go-getter and you do things, and then you want other people to believe in themselves and be like, you can do it too. Come on, you can do it. But see, it feels like pressure to other people. And, but anyways, this is like a passive kind of way. So for me, what my guides, because it was eating at me already when I was seeing people talk nonsense about spiritual stuff, where they were saying stuff, and I was like, that's not even fucking true. What the fuck are they talking about? And so that was eating at me, but I was supposed to, because I was supposed to be motivated. And I had no idea when I was being motivated into doing this that it was about clearing my throat chakra. But, that was all a part of the elaborate scheme to find myself. But so when I had began, it was being motivated by, the inconsistencies or the incompetence or the ignorance that I was seeing, that people were talking and saying shit that they have not even looked into or know nothing about. They read one book and they were expert or something. And so I felt like there needed to be a counterbalance to that. People needed to have more than just that information. And so I felt very motivated by that. But my guides have been putting pressure on me to speak up this whole time. So all the way back from 2016. And that's where I started telling people. And that's where I started people walking out from lunches and not wanting to talk to me and saying I was crazy. I was arguing with everybody. I was arguing way before this bullshit, because I was already telling them shit and about the solar flash and what was going to happen. Everything's about to change. Everybody's going to lose. Like, I was telling them all this stuff that was about to be happening, and everybody thought I was so fucking crazy, so nobody would listen to me. And then everything started happening, but nobody was correlating it, even when I've tried to say. But now I've had, like, some people like, you've been saying this for so long. And it's like, yeah. And it's rough to be seeing it for so long. But then that is what I learned going through it, was because that was the part I was supposed to go through. That was the part I was going to benefit from, learn from, grow from. And I could see it was because, yeah, as an insecure person, then having all these people talk down to you and think you're stupid and stuff. You got to build yourself up. So I had to go against the grain to believe in myself and build myself up into what my own beliefs, and then they're based on my communication. And so that is all real, but to people who don't have it, it's not real. So they think I'm just mental, I'm just a crazy person, I'm just, I don't understand how my mind works and stuff like that. Well, I'm pretty sure my mind doesn't know how to tell me things I don't know. Like, and the thing, you talk to people like that and they're like, well, you probably saw it in a movie one time. Oh, yes, well, I saw that in a movie when I was 5 years old. And then I started doing it, and just all of a sudden came to me I was going to do it like that. Maybe so. Maybe so, because you're also going to have the stuff that comes across to you is the stuff that's supposed to come across to you. It's the things that are supposed to be teaching you. And what was that one too? Because I just saw this lady talking about, oh, because now you have all these people trying to understand reincarnation and what's going on here and stuff like that. So this person said that um, that reincarnation is different than what people think, because everything is happening at one time. So it's all these different things. You're just accessing uh, this other entity or this other experience, and you're able to access it. Well, I think that, yeah, you can access these other things, but I think they come from inside of you. Like, I don't think it's just, it's like you are still, it's like your DNA, it's your parts. So it's not just like you're accessing some, but we're all connected in a way that is, because what was that? Yeah, I was seeing that about that. I was seeing something like my grandmas teach me a lot. Like, they hang out, but they teach me a lot. It's crazy. But it was, and it's, there is a theme, what they teach me too, and it's our connection. How it's like, I'm an extension of them. I'm an extension of what they've learned. And that is why my wins are their wins. And that is why you got these people around you, because you're an extension of them. There's a part of them that is in you. And so we have this connection to all things, but we have distinct storylines that give us our perspective, our imprint, our DNA program. The numbers that design you, your UPC code. What you are is an accumulation of experiences that give you a perspective that is unique to the universe. And those perspectives are always building. So to me, how I look at it, it would be is that all things can be happening at once, but it's like where you focus your energy. And so if I were to take my focus and focus the energy on a different place in a different life, then that is the one that it would be. But is focused on this one. So my energy is focused on this experience. But that doesn't mean the other experiences don't exist. But I don't know, because it isn't like, I don't know, like all this thing about like everything is happening at once. But I don't know. I see it more of the ride. And if you think of micro, macro, so you could think of the ride just being this one life, but you could also think of the ride being your soul's journey. And so the one loop, but it has a whole bunch of different things in the loop. And so it isn't like you're having the whole ride's experience at once. You have the whole ride's experience, but it just depends on what level and where it is you're focused. But I think that the ride, like if you took the ride as the soul's journey, it would be a bunch of different experiences that would create the you that you believe that you are. And I just think there's a lot of people that just don't realize, like, where all of their thoughts, or their, not just their thoughts, but their their attitude or their fears or these other deeper things that make you up. You know, it's just like as a mom and you have 4 kids and they're all different from each other. Like they're not the same. They come out of the same 2 people, but they're all unique. So how does that happen? It's because they're souls, unique souls. It isn't just about this family unit. It's about these souls coming into these different experiences to complete their circuit, to almost was bouncing back in again, complete their circuit. But so it is like a completion of your lessons. It's like all of your lessons coming together and going together. And also on this thing, because of all of these crazy murders and all this stuff going on, is you gotta really remember that nobody can hurt you unless it's contracted in. Like there's not some, rogue killer that can just come running in to my house and take me out. It had to be contracted in. That had to be, in my storyline. Nothing can happen that's not in your storyline. And your storyline is, checked off by you before you ever started it. You said, yeah, I'm all in beforehand. And so you don't need to sit and worry about like, all these crazy killers that are out running around all over the place, unless, you're one of the storylines that's going to show the crazy killers. But it's a more minimal amount of people if you put it into a comparison of how many people there are and how many storylines are playing out. And so it's not all the people are going to be, man, these waves of nausea. This is the 2nd or 3rd one today, too. Oh my God, I feel like they're getting worse. Like, fuck, man, what the fuck? Oh my God. And this sneezing and this coughing and this congestion, this nose running, this nausea, this weird aches, but it's not just aches. It's like, and it's not just cramps. It's like electrical shocks going through my body or something. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, fuck, man. I swear to God. It was just like 2 fucking months ago. I was like, fuck, I feel good. Like, I haven't had any pain. Like, I was like feeling so good and so healthy. And then I was the fog. I swear to God. If I went back and looked at the videos and looked and seen where I was like feeling so good, I bet you $100 somewhere in that week or 2, I was start complaining about the fog. And it's a carrier agent. You just got to think about the density and some of the stuff they want carried. And so they need that density to carry the sickness into us. And there's a whole bunch. Like there's women who are talking about like people don't realize there's a big sickness going on with the kids. And that the news isn't talking about, of course. They're going to just talk about Kamala and all the great actors that support her. And but there's some kind of a weird pneumonia going around. The E. coli or whatever it was that was in the McDonald's is making more people sick. That is going to be more, I swear to God, it's going to be more with disclosing about the, what we're consuming. And I don't know if this is real because there's so many of these fake videos, but supposedly Cat Williams was talking about like the Chinese food isn't chicken. Which I've been saying that for so motherfucking long. I can't even tell you. I've been telling people that for so fucking long. And they said it's these giant rats. And in Spokane, we have these giant rats, but they're not rats. They're river rats. They're like beavers kind of with rat tails or something. They're kind of cool. But I don't know if that's what they're taking and killing. Like, I've never been to China or wherever they're getting all these. So, but in the picture, there's like a whole shit ton of them lined up. So these big fat rats. And then they take the meat out and sell it. And that's what we're eating. We're eating, yeah. because pork is super bad for us. That's why they started that whole thing, because it's so, it was very much about them feeding us death and decay is part of their whole thing, to make us sick. That's why I swear to God, it's going to be a part of this awakening, a part of us, our realizations are coming into our states of consciousness that is going to pull us free from the consumption of energy in the ways that they have told us through food and stuff. There's going to be something different, because now, you know, like where I was even saying, like, fuck, man, all you can fucking eat is nuts. Nope. So these girls had a bag of Costco mixed nuts. And I'm sure people are buying the shit out of those for holidays. So a big old fucking bag of Costco mixed nuts. They open them and they're splitting them, especially in the cashews, which I still don't even know if cashews are real. I know almonds, that there's real almonds, even though they're saying almonds are fake. There's probably is fake almonds that they're just printing them, or you taking it in some, like there's the pink goo or whatever, only it's cream color, and then mushing it down and then cutting it into, ow, I just poked myself in the eye, cutting it into almond shapes and then putting it through a machine and making little stripes on it or whatever, so it looks like almonds. So I'm sure probably not all the almonds are real, but they're probably not all fake either. Cashews, I still don't know. But on what they were opening up, so they were splitting the cashews in half. Inside of all the cashews were worms. Literal living worms. So, and the same with dates, too. It is, there's all this stuff. Like if you get into the health side of the algorithm, dates is a big thing. Dates, you use them for sweeteners and stuff like that. And you can take dates and you can put them in hot water and then they'll get mushy and soft, and you can blend them and then you can make caramel sauce with dates. And I don't remember, there seems like there's a second ingredient you put in with the, if you grind them up to make the caramel sauce, but I can't remember what it is, but it's like 2 ingredients. And I mean, people like dip their apples in and they're like, oh, it's so good, it's so good. And then I saw these people splitting open dates and they're full of worms. And I've got all these dates in there. And it's like, oh my God. I did do some the other day in the water to add into something. But, you know, all the, I mean, once I got fucking worms in our goddamn nuts, like what do we have that we can safely eat? If we don't make it ourselves, grow it ourselves, like everything is full of, oh, which by the way, you know, Halloween's coming up and Reese's is full of worms. There's so many fucking packages and they're not recalling them. And this is going to be a part of this corporate reveal of how scammy this shit is. But there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to fucking eat some worms. No telling what all. We'll probably have people getting sick from fucking eating Halloween candy. It's like eating McDonald's, getting sick. And now, oh yeah, because this woman was complaining she was at Chick-fil-A or something, getting her food, and now they're charging you for the bags. Your paper sack now costs you 8 cents. They're adding in all these extra fees for everything. Like if you go to get food or whatever, it's like practically charging you to look at their fucking menu now. It's so absurd. But that all, you know, is all of the corporate down, it's all to, you know, make it be outrageous to us, to make us be like, what the fuck? So that we stop, so we don't keep continuing, because we keep it going. We play the part to keep it going. There has to be this part where it's like, wait a minute, this is some bullshit. And it's wild because all of these people who I'm just going to keep on thinking that they're blue, because they obviously don't pay any attention to shit and they don't listen to anybody. And that is one thing too, when I talk to a lot of people, and they say, you know, they don't listen to other people. They don't want to hear other people's stories and don't care what is going on in other people's lives. They think other people are liars. They don't trust other people. Like all of that stuff. So how can you find unity, compassion, empathy, or any of that kind of stuff when you don't like everybody? You don't trust them. You think they're all liars. Where are you going, girly girl? I swear we've been up all night. Come here. Can I finish my work first? can I finish my work? Can you come over here? Come here. Come. Oh, Max will come. Max is so sweet. He does get picked on. You're a sweet boy, but he does get super excited. He starts like biting. He gets so excited. Estella does that, but she doesn't bite down. She does like, she wants to hold your arm with her mouth. Come here, honey. Just a minute. Okay, let me think what else was I gonna say. Just a minute, please. This is like, I swear to God, once the day starts going, it's 3 o'clock. I'm gonna go back to sleep too. Let me think. Was there something else I was gonna say? Okay, she's sitting down, so give it a second. Let me think. Okay, so, anyways, about when I'm saying stuff, the motivation was when I started speaking up was because I heard a bunch of false information. So I wanted to share what I knew. And then throughout is when I started understanding that not everybody has this, these guides talking to you. Not everybody's had this their whole life. And that gave me a different approach to life. I wasn't caught up in religion. And I've just seen things through different perspectives, through, their eyes or whatever, what they've shown me. And the biggest part is like, the gain is going through life is not, I don't know, it's very different. Because like when bad things would happen to me, it was just different. Like I don't get resentful and or don't hold vindictiveness. I see things on this other level, and so that is what I'm trying to share with people so that they can also at least have the opportunity to see and have that awareness or whatever, because I've lived like this. I'm not just saying it. I'm not just like coming out and being like, oh, because, a couple months ago I opened my third eye and now I'm a spiritual guru and telling everybody, a life coach them or something. No, I'm talking about how I lived my life and how I look at things when things happen and stuff. And that is through having guidance, I think. And I think that the reason why that this is coming to the surface, because I know I'm not the only person who's doing this, is because everything's about to change, and that is going to make people hungry for this information. Whereas before I sounded like a complete lunatic and people thought I was so strange. But when everything changes, it's going to make people more, eager to understand the things that they were pushing away, the information that they thought sounded weird before. And so that is, it's kind of like building a foundation. So this is kind of like, it's like putting up a rest stop or something on a long journey for people. And then they can come in and listen to, how I maneuver through this stuff. Because I know a lot of people are scared and they're really caught up and stuff. And one big thing is you got to realize that nothing can hurt you. You're not going to really die. Everybody goes to the same place. It's not something that you need to stress out about or any of that stuff. That those all have been lies to create hierarchy and division, and that and to get you to believe that you would die so that you live in fear. But you don't die. Die isn't even a real thing. It's something that happens in this story. You just think about endings and beginnings. Anything that has an ending is only so it has a beginning. And so there's no endings that just end. It just starts a new storyline. And so that is where they say like energy just changes forms. So you don't necessarily just change forms, although you are energy and you can change forms, but you still have a home base form that you go back to. So you have a home base that you exist in, that you go back to when you leave this place. And so that's why when people leave, they always have these big homecomings and stuff. And they get to see people that they haven't seen. They see dead relatives. That's why your dead relatives are all hanging out with you, because you're an extension of them. And that their lessons and your wins are their wins. And so it all goes in together. But there's nothing to be scared of about this storyline. This is an actual storyline that is beneficial, this ending, even though it's super dramatic and it seems super scary and it's super overwhelming, especially for the people who have no spiritual connection. I mean, you got so many people who are still waiting on Jesus. And there was a video this guy was just doing, showing his little boy just got up from a nap. He's like 2 years old or something. Just got up and was saying, Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming. And, you know, I think that phrase or something is more of an understanding, like it's a translation and communication. Because really what is occurring is Christ consciousness, the return of Christ consciousness, which is the return of our spirituality, of us connecting into our spirit and not being misled by our ego. So that dark and light coming into union is it's like the ascension. That's what we're going through. And that is why there's so much outrage. There's so much moral dilemma. There's so much. Highlighted on integrity, artificial, superficial, natural. All these things are all of what's coming to the surface, because it has to do with this moral dilemma, this the light and dark side of you, and coming into, and it's not because you need to come into conformity as to how someone else thinks you should be. It's you figuring out where you need to be, which is a whole challenge for a lot of other people, because they are so influenced by how others look at them, that is a whole characteristic of self that they have to go through to develop into being true to themselves, instead of trying to be a people pleaser and get people to like you by being what they want you to be. And so, because you can't, you know, it's pointless. Why do you need to get everybody to like you anyways? It's like it's way more important to be true to yourself and be real to yourself, because you got to have integrity for yourself. Like, how can you go around the world feeling like a fake and a phony all the time? And that's how you would feel. And that's why this is all coming to the surface for so many people, because they're realizing that they've been a fake and a phony, and then it's making them feel lost, like they don't know how to find themselves. They don't even know who they are, and they don't know where they got lost. And so that is what all of this awakening and this challenges to healing yourself have to do with. And once you start doing that and going in that direction, that is what puts you on this more positive timeline, where things start going in a more positive way, because your energy that you're putting out, because, you know, there are these people who think like they're on their positive timeline and they're putting out negative energy. It's not your positive timeline. You know, that's just more of their artificial bullshit that people are saying. And then to tell people that they're changing timelines without them even doing anything, they just woke up in a new timeline all the time. It's like, I don't know, there's so much stupid shit that people are saying that to me makes no sense at all. So anyways, and then you've got there's a lot of these spiritual people. Like, I'm seeing video after video, and I told you that they were blue, and they're all coming out. And if you can't see that shows something inside them, that they don't know what the hell's going on. They're not paying attention. They're just playing along, that, you know, they're manifesting their best life. They're $1 million and sporting this blue lady, and, you know, yeah, everybody's just got to see for themselves. All I can do is just keep spreading what I see. And the crazy thing is the universe is going to, you know, just like that one lady said, I just popped up in her thing. That's how it's going to go. And I would only say that when I pop up in your thing, it's for a reason. It's not for no reason. There's something there, you know, something for your entertainment purposes, some kind of thing. It's probably a seed, that, and then I know, there's people who have been along this journey with me, who have been working on themselves alongside of me, and we've been doing this all together. I've trying to be more mindful and paying attention to what's happening in the world and stuff. But that's what's so weird too, is like when I see these people are like, why in the world would you be getting life jackets for your dogs? Like I'm a crazy fool or something. It's like, why wouldn't you be seeing all these places, what's going on with all this water rising? Like there's so many places under flood all across the globe. In all these places, the water's rising. To not think like, to think that you're above that, like nothing's going to happen where you're at. I'm the opposite. I'm always like, well, if it's happening there, it's going to happen here too. It's going to happen everywhere. And so, and the water, it shows right on the map, the water is going to change. And I don't know how dramatic it's going to go through. Like it could today be a big ass earthquake, and then that just sets off the tsunami, and the water comes in. And then only thing that we'd be able to do is go up higher, and going up higher now is where we're going into really shitty weather. But that's what they want us to fucking do too. So then we're going to be leaving our homes and our safety to go up higher into the mountains and the snow and what, tents and stuff. As why, I think we've got to, as evacuators, we've got to come together as like they did in the Bible, and where they all went together and walked towards wherever it is that we're headed to. And there's going to be places, that there's going to be safety, where we're going to be building communities, and whole new worlds are going to be building up. So we're going to something really exciting, but still the ending of this and how it's ending and all our choices and where we're going, there's still a lot of, unknowns. There's still a lot of, and that is also, it's our challenges to learning to trust the universe, learning to trust yourself, learning that everything's going to be okay, even when it feels like it's not going to be okay, even when it feels super scary. And then even when, it's not okay for some people and a whole bunch of people leave, but that is where we got to learn, is like, oh, they're not really leaving. They're just leaving the room. They're leaving this party, but they're not leaving. They're not going away from. Most of the people who leave the story just hang out with you the whole time anyways. They're just right there with you. They're not really going anywhere. It's like, I don't know that we all leave until our whole soul group's there. But then the soul group goes through different generations. It's like we're always around each other. So it's not something that you need to. But that is all in the spiritual stuff. That's the only stuff I can keep sharing. And all I can tell people is, keep doing your research. Don't just read one of Dolores Cannon's books and think you're an expert. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of, I would say, Eastern philosophy to me is that makes the most sense. This Western philosophy of controlling and controlling energy, that to me is what, got witches burned. And it wasn't just, the people. We're talking about an energy. So it was like they were going in the wrong direction. And so it was, of course, going to backfire. And the wrong direction is to try and control the energy. Why do you think you know what the energy needs to do? And what energy are you calling in to get your energy to go in the direction you want? And why are you overriding other people with your energy and stuff? So that manipulation of energy is not what we want to be doing. We want to learn how to ride the energy wave, how to be a part, how to, go with the flow, to not be burdened by the experience. So anyways, that's what I believe that we're learning about. And I would say, if you are new to learning about this stuff, go and look into a lot of books. Check out a lot of books from the library and stuff. Metaphysical, paranormal, because ghost, alien, it's all the same. You know, it's you just got to get down to it's souls, and souls are energy, and there's all different types of energy, and there's all different types of states of conscious energy, and there's all different um there's just going to be a lot that goes with this reality as it fizzles out. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to learn in about our existence, and how much, that the souls are one thing, but the humans is a whole nother thing. And there's a whole thing about the lab existence of humans, and the all the souls that have come in to try and move humans out of this reality of control. So anyways, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and we're in the midst of it, and we do have a lot of things that are just like it's just so crazy to have so many balls in the air, and they all just seem to be coming at the same time. So whatever with all of the things flying out of the air, and there was people saying like all these spaceships were making those things go away, and but I don't know, because they're gonna have these, because we got to have this big war thing, which anything, they could start telling us that we're gonna get bombed and stuff. Like there's no telling how any of this stuff is gonna play out. We got all the earthquakes going, we got fires going, we got floods going, we got this weird ass election going, we got this weird ass disclosure shit, we got whistleblowers coming out the gang with all this different information, we got celebrities, they're just having to reveal themselves at this point. When they're coming out and saying they're supporting this controlled agenda, especially, I just can't even believe, like, Seth Rogen, like, how embarrassing, dude. You want to come out and say, oh, yeah, you're supporting her because she's going to make weed legalized. Especially this person who's put so many people away and laughed about it. And Bernie was going to make it legal. Donald's going to make it, like, that's pretty much like a going thing with these people now. It's like, yeah, it's time. It's going to become legal. It's a goddamn plant. The reason it was illegal was because fucking Chase Morgan didn't want us to use hemp. He wanted us to use paper. So he wanted to use wood instead of hemp because hemp was cheap and he didn't own it. And he owned newspapers. And so, anyways, it's all just fucking bullshit. You just have to look into this stuff. And, yeah, it's about time that they quit making it a fucking crime to get goddamn have plants. Smoke them, eat them, drink them, whatever the fuck you want to do. It's your goddamn plants. And marijuana is not the only plant that gives you some, they've already found mushrooms, ayahuasca, like all these different things. But there's other flowers and stuff too. There's other plants that give you different, it make you feel really calm. It can make you go into fantasy land or whatever. So anyways, but the whole thing with marijuana was because of the hemp and the paper and Chase Morgan and the fucking bullshit. So anyways, we'll just have to continue seeing how things play out. Now we're on the Saturday. I'm sure it'll be rallies all weekend. Who knows what the hell she's gonna do? Because I thought she wasn't coming out. She was saying this weird. I don't even know how. There's supposedly all these people who are saying that she's been exposed and they're leaving her thing. And I don't know if it's over the drugs or what it is. There was some other things too. Whatever it is, they're trying to expose a lot of stuff because it also has something to do with I think with money and the people. I don't know. We'll just see. Because everything is about exposing. And what they're trying to expose is the criminal element that has been running things to get us to wake up so that we start seeing and we stop trusting them and we stop going all in. We stop, dedicating our lives to these people who are just trying to control us and rob us of our energy, rob us of our time. And because this is our time. Our birth time is our time. We are so influenced that it just is like, it is never a waste of time because you're always learning, but it is a consumption of our time where we're not getting to use it the way we want to use it. So anyways, just remember what you're doing here because what you are literally doing here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it's totally up to you. So anyways, that's what I say what we're doing here. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.